The world's most strategic canal. Before it was built, ships had to sail all the way around Africa, a journey that took weeks longer, cost far more fuel, and came with serious risks from storms and rough seas. Then, on November 17, 1869, a narrow strip of water opened, the Suez Canal. The world changed quietly but completely. Trade became faster, routes became shorter, the distance between continents felt smaller than ever before. But here's the real question: which canal matters more today? And why is one of them now facing a serious threat, not from war or politics, but from nature itself? To understand why canals matter, you need to see how trade worked before them. Before 1869, there was no direct sea route between Europe and Asia. Ships had to travel around the Cape of Good Hope, adding thousands of extra miles to every journey. This route was long and dangerous. Strong winds, huge waves, and sudden storms made travel unpredictable. Ships were often delayed for weeks. Some were damaged or lost completely. For traders, this meant constant uncertainty. For businesses, it meant higher costs and slower delivery. For countries, it meant weaker trade growth. Time was the biggest problem. Every extra day at sea increased fuel costs, crew wages, and risk. Because of this, only high-value goods like spices and silk were moved across continents. Most everyday goods stayed local. Global trade was limited, and regions depended mainly on themselves. Two canals. Then came two major projects that changed everything. The Suez Canal was opened in 1869. The Panama Canal was opened on August 15, 1914. Panama Canal Authority, 2024. These canals created shortcuts across the world. Instead of sailing around entire continents, ships could pass through narrow waterways linking major oceans. This reduced travel distance by thousands of miles and cut shipping time by weeks. Trade became faster, cheaper, and more reliable. Today, more than 80% of global trade moves by sea. World Trade Organization, 2023. A large share of that depends on these canals. They are not just routes, they are lifelines of global commerce. Suez Canal. The Suez Canal connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. It creates the shortest sea route between Europe and Asia. Before it existed, ships had to go around Africa. That added time, cost, and risk. The canal changed this completely. Ships now move directly between major regions. This saves fuel, reduces travel time, and improves efficiency. Around 12% of global trade passes through this canal every year. Suez Canal Authority, 2024. It carries oil, electronics, machinery, food, and daily goods used worldwide. One major advantage is its design. It is a sea-level canal. Ships move straight through without stopping or being lifted. This makes it one of the most efficient trade routes in the world. The Ever Given incident, but even strong systems can fail. On March 23, 2021, a massive container ship called the Ever Given got stuck in the canal. It turned sideways and blocked the entire route. For 6 days, no ships could pass. Over 400 vessels were delayed. Global supply chains slowed instantly. Factories ran short on materials. Businesses could not meet demand. According to shipping reports, losses reached nearly $9 to $10 billion per day. After days of effort, the ship was finally freed. This showed something important. The canal is powerful, but also vulnerable. Panama Canal. Now look at the Panama Canal. It connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Before 1914, ships had to travel around South America. That route was long, dangerous, and unpredictable. The canal created a shortcut across the continent, but it works differently from the Suez Canal. It uses a system of locks. Ships are lifted and lowered using water levels. This allows them to cross land with different heights. It takes more time, but it works effectively. It remains one of the greatest engineering achievements in history. The real problem. The Panama Canal depends on fresh water from nearby lakes. Every ship uses a large amount of water to pass through. This water comes mainly from rainfall, but rainfall patterns have changed. In 2023 and 2024, Panama faced serious drought conditions. Water levels dropped significantly. Fewer ships were allowed each day. Some ships had to reduce cargo weight. This slowed trade and increased costs. Higher shipping costs eventually reached global markets. That means higher prices for goods everywhere. This is now one of the biggest challenges facing the canal, a new competition. Now another factor is emerging, the Arctic region. For most of history it was covered in thick ice. Ships could not pass through, but rising temperatures have begun to change that. Ice is melting faster than before. New shipping routes like the Northern Sea route are opening. These routes can reduce travel time by 10 to 15 days. Countries are beginning to explore them for trade. Shipping companies are testing them carefully. But risks remain high, the weather is harsh, ice can return quickly, infrastructure is limited, so it is not yet a full replacement. Comparison: the Suez Canal is faster and simpler. Ships pass through without stopping. It handles a large portion of global trade. The Panama Canal is more complex. Its lock system takes time. It also depends heavily on the water supply. Right now, Panama is under pressure due to drought. The Suez Canal is more stable in daily operations, but it still faces risks like blockages and congestion. Both canals are essential. Both serve different regions. Both face different challenges. Key differences in global shipping. The Suez Canal is faster and more direct. It works like a straight highway for ships. There are no locks, no stopping points, and no waiting for water levels to change. Ships enter from one side and move through without interruption. This makes it one of the quickest trade routes in the world. Because of the simple design, the Suez Canal handles a huge share of global trade every single day. Oil, gas, electronics, food, and raw materials all pass through it. For many shipping companies, time means money, and Suez helps save both. On the other side, the Panama Canal is very different. It is more complex and carefully controlled. Instead of a straight path, ships must pass through a system of locks. These locks lift ships up and then lower them back down as they cross the land between two oceans. This process takes time. Ships often have to wait for their turn, and the full journey through the canal can take many hours. It is a smart system, but it is not fast. There is another challenge. The Panama Canal depends heavily on fresh water. Huge amounts of water are needed every time a ship passes through the locks. This water comes from nearby lakes, which are filled by rain. Right now, this is becoming a serious problem. Due to less rainfall and rising temperatures, water levels are dropping. This has forced canal authorities to limit how many ships can pass each day. Fewer ships mean delays, higher costs, and pressure on global supply chains. In comparison, the Suez Canal does not rely on fresh water in the same way. This makes its daily operations more stable. Ships can move through more freely without worrying about water shortages. But that does not mean Suez is risk-free. It has its own problems. The canal can become crowded, with long lines of ships waiting to pass, and sometimes accidents happen. A clear example was the Ever Given Suez Canal blockage. One large ship got stuck and blocked the entire canal for days. This single event caused massive delays and disrupted trade across the world. So, both canals are essential, but they are not the same. The Suez Canal is faster and simpler, but it can face congestion and sudden blockages. The Panama Canal is more controlled and engineered, but it is slower and depends on water that is no longer guaranteed. Both serve different parts of the world, both support global trade in their own way, and both are now facing new kinds of pressure. Ending global trade is changing. It is no longer dependent on one route. Shipping companies now use multiple paths to reduce risk. Canals, Arctic routes, and long ocean routes all play a role. Climate is changing trade patterns. Water shortages are limiting capacity. New routes are opening slowly. For over a century, canals have connected the world. They made trade faster, cheaper, and more efficient. But now, new pressures are shaping their future. The real question is simple. How long can these canals remain at the center of global trade? Because the same forces that once made them powerful, we are now starting to change them. These changes are forcing companies to rethink how goods move across the planet. For more than 100 years, canals like the Suez and Panama have connected continents. They made trade faster, cheaper, and more efficient. They became the backbone of global shipping. But now, the situation is shifting. New pressures are building. Old systems are being tested. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more content like this.